Hello, my Debbie. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Hello, everybody. It's Giuliana and Debbie. We're your Shine Sisters, and we're here a little bit early today. It is Friday, June the 1st, 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So we thought that rather than not show up at all, we'd show up a little bit early today. So welcome to Friday, everybody. And thank you, Debbie, for moving our live today to 1 because I needed to go pick up my juice prescription. I call it prescription subscription at 2:30 and do a salt cave because we opened up on Tuesday and I've just been so busy this week that
congratulations for opening up. I know that was really important to you to have that freedom back.
It is nice, but it's also holding my breath. It's been interesting because a lot of people are like just rushing to get back into things. And it's not exactly what I want to do is rush.
Yeah, I'm not a rusher either. I'm like, I'll go out one day a week, and then I do all my errands. I like pile my car of everything I need to do with my list. And I'm like, one day, that's all they're getting. However, my son Luke has a baseball tournament because he joined a new baseball team for club ball. And I went last night and it was in the hundreds, but then it got down into the 90s and it was windy and it actually wasn't too bad. And it was super fun going to, because he plays at Peoria Sports Complex, which is a spring training baseball stadium. And that's always fun to be able to watch these high school boys play where the pros get to play. So that was fun. So that's about as much as I'm doing. I ran into Target that was over there. If it's near a spot, I go. If it's somewhere I have to go out of my way or all these different things, I'm like, no, I'll wait till next week.
I saw Jill's parents. Well, our friend Jill is moving from Phoenix, and so her parents were at Sky Harbor, and I was like lamenting. I wished I was at Sky Harbor. I'm really missing you guys. I'm really missing, Sunny's in Sedona today, Sunny and Chris, and they're at that wherever, I can't remember what it's called in Sedona, where we went with Emmanuel and Sunny.
Oh yeah, that center, that community center that we have.
Anyways, last night I watched Yakwala. He's the head of the Havasu tribe. Anyways, I got the free stream last night and I went to bed dreaming. My dream is travel, and yeah. So
it's funny that you say that because obviously we need to talk about this because we're feeling like we need that freedom. So I follow this gal on Instagram and their family is in Seaside and I don't know where it's at. I think it's in the South. I am feeling drawn. I need to go to the South and I need to get to the beach. I feel my soul calling me. Like, you want Sedona and Arizona? I'm like, get me out of Arizona and get me near water. The beach.
Well, I want that too. Yeah. I'm feeling
so this is what I'm thinking we need to do is when we decide it's the correct time, we are going to meet in the middle somewhere. And it's not going to be Arizona. It's not going to be Canada, but it's going to be somewhere fun that we get to be pretty girls, put our pretty clothes on and have our nails done, our hair done, our makeup all perfect. And we are going to go shine our sisterly souls at the beach together. Somewhere. I feel like it's got to be somewhere that we've never been. Don't you think? Doesn't that feel like super like soul fulfilling right now? Like, anyways, that's my dream.
Yeah, I am dreaming. I see people are starting to gather finally. I know there was a bit of a lag. Hello, whoever's on. Hello out there. Hello, happy Friday. I don't know. It was just, I'm happy and grateful that it's opening up, but a part of me feels like, people maybe won't take it as seriously and will just think that it's a free for all. And I feel the change, right? It's been a year and a half. And so how can you not I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, Jules. I don't know about you, but there's a lot of people getting vaccines out here, right? And you and I have talked, I'm not gonna get one and stuff like that unless it's something I absolutely have to do. But I'll be the last one in line. Like it's like the one, have you seen that movie Soul, where they're running they're on that little conveyor belt taking them into heaven? And he's like, get me out of here. I wasn't ready for this. That's me in the back of the line of the vaccine. Get me out of here. I'm not ready for this. But anywho, what was I about to say about that? Oh, yeah. So I was in the doctor's office yesterday waiting in the waiting room, and this gal came in. Oh, my gosh. People's energy just cracks me up. If they could just feel their own energy, it's a hoot. But she came in and she she gets all checked in, and she doesn't have a mask on. And the lady behind the plexiglass is checking her, registering or whatever. It's like, oh, ma'am, do you have a mask? And have you had your vaccine? She goes, yes, I did. Now everyone gets to hear that she got her vaccine, right? And yeah, isn't it fun, Rachel? So she was like, yes, I have my vaccine. I don't need to wear a mask. And she goes, well, ma'am, I'm sorry that we still need you to wear a mask. And she puts it on. She sits next to me. Like we have this little small table in between us. She goes, oh, I had my vaccine. It's so hot outside and I have to wear my mask. I can't believe I have to wear my mask. As I'm sitting here with my cute little mask on, being in my gingham, happy as can be. I'm good. But it was just so funny how different our personalities were, right? And how people are handling these type of situations where I'm just like, I'm good, like, right? But she was just like that energy was just like, she literally plopped herself down, spread out her legs like this was her living room. And it was just such a hoot, So, yeah. And, I had to remind myself people are having their own experiences, right? And to just bring joy from the situation instead of judgment. And that's something that is helping me a lot. And I posted today, I don't know if you mind me sharing, but just a real quick thing. Kelly Jenkins, a long, long time ago, sent me this. And after being out at the doctor's office and driving down the road and seeing this stuff, and it wasn't beautiful. I wasn't feeling beauty. I wasn't feeling the angels. I was just like, this is a shit show out here, by the way. Oh my God, no wonder why I don't go out much. It's a shit show. But anyways, I came home and I was like, girl, you gotta shift this. You cannot show up live. You cannot work. You cannot be around your family and feel this way. So Jophiel has helped me. She's really helped me today and yesterday especially. So if you guys are also feeling that way, call Jophiel. Oh my gosh. She is a shining star when you are not seeing the beauty of life and the beauty of people. She'll help. By the way, I am not liking my hair. So sorry. Okay, moving on.
I think that because we just came out of a full moon lunar eclipse and we're heading into must be a new moon solar eclipse. And so between these eclipses, the energy, at least my perception, has been tough. Mm-hmm. And this week, especially, even the other night, I felt a little depressed.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, why am I feeling so depressed? And not in a chemical way, in a melancholy, energetic. Yeah. I just knew that my vibe was very low. And it's taken, even today, I'm still not 100%. Mm-hmm. I'm so glad I'm going to the salt cave because I know that whatever I picked up, I need to let it go. Like I can feel it. Even I was getting a little pain in my hip and I was like, what in the Sam hell is that? Like,
you're right.
What is going on, body? And so, Rachel says, ladies, we are down to a 1% infection rate in New England. It's like roaring 20s here. At first, it was scary. However, it's nice to see the unwavering optimism of people.
Oh, for sure.
I think, Rachel, I think it's because I'm not vaccinated and my son is going for his second one I think next week. And we had decided if we were going to do it one at a time to make sure that everybody recoups and is feeling good. And I'm still on the wait, not a no, not a yes, it's a wait. Mm-hmm. And so I guess it's part that I can't really put my finger on it. Mm. I'm grateful because I'm back for in-person readings at Joy and Vitality Center, and that really makes me happy. Like right now it's I love my house and I need to get the hell out of it too.
Right? Yeah. Ugh. I totally get you. So our card from Monday, wasn't it receiving signs from the angels?
Hearing messages from spirit.
Okay.
I am a clear channel for messages from spirit. And so, yeah, I'd love to share it if that's okay. Yeah. And then you can add whatever you get. It is so hearing messages from spirit. The card meaning is believe. Right now, your spirit guides, ancestors, and loved ones who have passed on are sending you messages, love, and healing. Have faith that you can discern these messages, and you will. You are a vibrational match for communication from these spiritual realms. And so now and in the days ahead, you'll be even more aware of these loving messages that are flooding your soul. So, the thing is, we're all these receivers, right? We're energetic beings. And when I got this, it was interesting because the last week, Debbie, we take turns. And the week before, it was receiving from your angels. And then this week that I pulled again, it was hearing messages. So it was like keeping your energy in tune to your angels, your guides, your ancestors, because they want to help us. It's like, Julie, don't forget that we're here. So for me, I loved it. And to affirm, I am a clear channel for messages from spirit. And that, as long as you have a heart connection to your loved ones, to the divine, to God, you can hear them. And it comes in feeling, seeing, and knowing as well. So anything to add, dear Deb?
Well, yeah, I 100% agree. Like yesterday, I wasn't going to go to my son's game. And I told him, no, I'm not going to make it. It's going to be too hot, blah, blah, blah. And I was sitting on my couch, and literally within 2 minutes, I heard, get up and go. And I went and I texted my son, and he was partially there. And I texted him, I said, I'll be at your game. His reaction was sweet. Like literally sweet with an exclamation mark. And when I got after the game, I took him out to dinner and I said, did you really want me there? And you were just afraid to really push me to go. And he goes, yes. I never want to force you and Dad to come to my games because I know there are a lot and I have 2 brothers, but I heard his spirit. I feel like it was his soul talking to me, and the angels were the ones who pushed me, right? They were just like, get up and go. Right. Like, quit thinking about yourself. Quit thinking about how hot it's going to be. You don't even know. You're creating something that's not even there yet. And I went, it wasn't that bad. And I got through it. And it was
mom. Can I just shout out to you? You're such a good mom. You have 3 boys and you're such a good mom. So I'm going to be your cheerleader today. Just hang on a moment. I'm going to get the pom-pom because it is Fun Friday. And I think we need a pom-pom. Hang on here.
Yeah.
Woo! Woo! Woohoo! Debbie! Woo, woo, woo! That's, see, cheering on my sister. My shine sister. Because you know what? It's true. A lot of times we feel like, we're going through a lot internally with our hormones and things like that. And sometimes our ego, well, even our physical bodies, our heart wants to go, but it's like, oh, I'd rather just stay home in the air conditioning or whatever.
Yeah. And I had the air on. I made my mango smoothie. I was one comfortable chick. But then it was just like, get out of your damn comfort zone and go support that child of yours. And boy, was he just elated that I came. And that filled my heart. I was like, that was such a beautiful lesson that I feel like spirit sent that message, right? So it's like, it can come in like the most simplest ways. It doesn't have to be this big grandiose message. It can be like a quick thing that just pops in and you think it's your guilt or your shame or your ego. But I don't believe that it was, because I was feeling a little bit guilty, but I believe it was spirit just saying, you know what, get up and go. It's that simple.
And that's how they talk to us, you guys. It's like you get that little voice that's nudging you. And it always feels good. If it is not good, it's not your good team talking to you. Could be the voice ego, could be low level vibrations. Use your discernment. That was something like saying, come on, Debbie, you're creating memories. So let's go. Once you get there, we got your back. You're going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And that's the thing, a lot of times there's so much noise in the world that we forget to listen to the voice of God, the voice of Mother Mary, whatever divinity that we believe in, we forget to tap into it. Even us, it's like, we get so consumed with things that are going on in our life. Usually they're not good things. And that's why we're a little bit, our energy is diverted. And they're saying, hey, come on. You just control. It's like that vision. I don't know if you've ever seen that where the universe is grabbing the human and they're saying, we got this. You just got to control your mind.
Yeah.
Right? You just have to control your mind. Yeah, Maria. Hi, Maria. That happened to her today. It wasn't going to go to my daughter. I'm glad that you did too, because this is the thing, you guys. I think another reason I've been so sad this week, and I'm in Orange again today, because on Saturday there were 215 children found at one of the residential schools. And as an empath, wow, I'm really feeling the sadness. Like, I think I'm so grateful that I have one child. And I was just reflecting on the fact that I've always wanted to be a mom. And even for Paulie, I wish he does have a half brother. However, I wish I had had another child. And I can't imagine those parents having their children as young as 3 stolen from them. And these are Native Canadians that were taken out of their homes and put into these residential schools to beat the Indian out of them. And I've just been crying because, a lot of it was the responsibility of the church. And ever since I was a little girl, I've always stood up for the church. Yeah. And so to see it being dragged through the mud again, I'm like, oh, come on, God, I get it. That, you gave us free will and it wasn't you, people say, where was God in this? It's just like, where was God? Well, he's right here, but he gave us free will to make our own choices. And there's good and bad in everything. There's good and bad in religion. There's good and bad in schools. There's good and bad. Like, there's good and bad even in the spiritual community.
Yep.
And so, I felt this week almost like I needed to defend again. And I don't do well anymore feeling like it's me against, You know
what, this is my feeling, because I was just listening to you and I get, when I'm listening, I get little hits and stuff. And, the question is, where was God? The God was with the children.
Right.
God was with our little souls, taking them back up. Yes. And bringing them and and supporting them as they were ascending to heaven. He may not have been with these people he probably was with those people, but sometimes ego can be stronger than what God is able to do, right? Sometimes we'll just be like, no, I don't want you helping me. I don't want you in my head. This is what I want to do. And we end up doing things that aren't for our highest good or the highest good of the world. Right. And it's because our ego is so dead set on having this experience that we push God out. Right. We push this.
Right. Ego, edge God out. Yeah. Exactly. Oh my God. You're so wise.
It's not that God wasn't there. It's just God wasn't able to. They just were not allowing him or goddess to be in power at that time. However, those children did not leave alone.
Right. And that is one of the things that was keeping me sane this week. However, I was just allowing my heart to feel sad and mad.
It's important that we feel that, right? We're empaths. I don't think I know anyone who doesn't have a heart or isn't empathic and feel that, right? And feel the pain of what those children went through, those parents went through. You even start to wonder, well, I know I do, start to wonder, how could people be so angry that they would want to harm children? Because children are the light of the world, right? So it's almost like, what happened to them, these adults, that could go to such an extent?
And it's been in millennia, right? That was what I was trying to, like I said in a live the other day, especially it's white people, what made the whites time and time and time and time again think that they are superior to Nazi or to, Jews, to Indians, to Black people. I mean, and forgive me for whatever the political correct terms are right now for African Americans and Native Americans and Native Canadians. And, now it's like, it makes me mad. It makes me mad. And to think of these families, because I can empathize and I can visualize them coming, and if they ripped Polly away from me and I could never see him again, because they had to go from when they were small until they were 18. If they survived and they stripped them of their identity, it would be just like, we Italians, Maria, we love pasta or whatever it is, and they want to take that away from us. They wanted to strip the Indian away. They wanted to bleach it away. They wanted to, in the hopes that they would make them forget their lineage. Like, what gives us the right? What gives any human?
It's more about, it's about
power.
Control, and it's about power. It's about fear.
Right.
If you bring down the why, right? Like when that Simon Sinek, when we do business, we go down to the smallest why we can. What is the deepest part of our soul? Why would they do something like that? Because a part of them felt that this was right. This was the right way to be. It's almost like, do you ever feel like sometimes when someone's so determined that they're going to save somebody from their life because they feel like their life is so perfect and they're on the right track? And that's ego. Ego is driving you. And I mean, interesting this is coming up because I was listening to this Christian radio station. I listened to it quite a bit. And I don't know why this annoyed me, because I've grown up Christian and I grew up in a Catholic church since I was 24. And I'm a God girl, a Jesus girl, a Mary girl, right? I am all that. But something triggered me a little bit today when I was listening. This man had called in and they was like, I need to add my dad to the prayer line, who is at stage 4 cancer. And they said, yes, we would absolutely love to add him to the prayer line. But then the conversation went, and the man says about the father, I'm really concerned about him that he's not going to make it to heaven because he's not going to church and he doesn't talk about God. And I said, I was thinking to myself, how dare you?
Right.
How dare you put stipulations on your dad's soul because you aren't comfortable and you're worried that he's not going to make it? Why don't you just turn it around on yourself and have faith that their soul will have the experience they are meant to have, and they will ascend.
Exactly. This is what I've learned, though, and that is such an amazing point. And what I've learned, even in my own journey, is that people, in the name of religion, they get they become extremists. Like their doctrine is the doctrine. And anybody who does not believe in that doctrine is going to hell. And then they project their thoughts, beliefs, and emotions onto you. And this is where, Sunny taught us, right? We don't have a right to want for anybody else. We can't want for anybody. It's not our job to make anybody happy. It's not our job to alter their experience. They have a choice in their own experience. We can only control our own.
Yeah.
And
we have to work on ourselves. And
right.
by proxy, we will automatically shift and have a ripple effect over to their life if that is what is meant to happen.
Right.
We cannot control. I have 3 boys. You have 1 son. We cannot truly control every experience that their souls have. However, we can teach and set examples and be role models and talk and be there for them and have conversations. That's literally the only power we have. Literally. And we just have to live our best life and set this amazing example for them. And that doesn't mean we have to be perfect, because every once in a while my words come out and I got my F-bombs and I'm pissed. And that doesn't mean that I'm going to be the greatest mother in the world. However, I know they chose me. They chose me to have the experience with in this lifetime. And I'm going to trust that it is for a huge purpose for me to learn from them and them to learn from me. And if I try to control the outcome every single step of the way, I'm going to be one unhappy mama.
Yeah. And, I just keep wanting to do my best each day. And, I do have a friend whose daughter is taking Aboriginal studies in school. And so she's been sending me a lot of information. And I said to her, I want to be the voice for change. Doesn't mean I know anything in this situation. However, I will share information so that people can be compassionate and that we can want change. Like right now, one of the schools, Langevin, is being changed. So that's with the Calgary Board of Education. And the Catholic Bishop Grandin, who was one of the bishops that was behind these residential schools, they want to change the name. The Catholic School Board is looking into it, but there's a whole procedure to doing name changes and things like that. Like you can't just, I can't remember who was one of our politicians was saying we have such a cancel culture. It's just like sometimes you can't just cancel everything and wipe it out. Like you need to acknowledge it. You need to feel it. You need to, just like when we're healing personally, as we heal as a collective, it's like you can't just cancel it. Changing a name isn't changing anything.
Nope. It changes energy, but it doesn't take away what occurred, and it doesn't take away the pain. And it's funny, we were talking about that yesterday, because I was just like, well, as long as you have hope and you're doing the creation process and all that, and it's like, but you have to, and then I had to be reminded, but you got to make sure you don't push out the feelings that don't feel good every time. You can't always have just the good feelings. You have to acknowledge the feelings that feel like shit too, right? Those really hurtful, empathic feelings when you see those images and you feel the pain for those children and those families. You have to acknowledge, because it's easy to look away, like especially when you see like those dog commercials and those things, when you have to acknowledge that this exists in the world. You send love out to that, and you pray for things to get better and to improve, and for people to learn positive lessons from these experiences. But you can't cancel them out. Right. And I 100% agree with you on that. My 17-year-old says the same thing, and I was like, boy, did I do a good job. He's really listening to spirit. I can't take credit. I think it's our spirit telling us all of this,
Yeah. And so I love this message, to go back to hearing messages from spirit. This is what I've been getting this week, that, we have the ancestors behind us. Mm-hmm. We are spirit embodied. So on some level, we contract, and whether you believe in this or not, Debbie and I do. So we're going to teach this and share this, that we believe as spirit embodied. We're here at this time. Hi, Sam. And we're strong enough to get through it. And when it feels bad, like Debbie said, the things that we can do is pray. is start in your own home, is to acknowledge, your dark and your light and work to better yourself, not being better than anybody else, but better than the version you were yesterday. And that's the thing that I find is that as you change, it doesn't mean that you're perfect. You're still a flawed human being that is doing their best. And, a lot of times life is hard. It's hard on, hi, Danny.
Hey,
or Dana.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hard in the world. And this, for me, maybe it's because I'm a certain age now that this has affected me so much. And I think because, well, Deb, you did the 8 Goddess Sisters of Divine Femininity. We had just worked with White Buffalo Calf Woman. Mm-hmm. And so I think because I fell in love with her and with wanting, to know more about our Native Canadians and Native Americans and their way of life and the rituals and our connection to Mother Earth and our connection to spirit. And then, we saw that little white buffalo was born here on May the 3rd. And so that was a beautiful spirit sign. And then all of a sudden, these 215 bodies, and they say that's the tip of the iceberg. Like there's 139, I think, residential schools. Please forgive me if I'm wrong. I didn't know that we were going to talk about this, but Spirit is guiding us today. And if each of these schools did these things, then that means that there's these unmarked graves at each of them. And Kamloops was just one of the first to be found out. Now with that sonar, that you can check the ground, like they're finding things, right? And I don't know. Anyways,
I just want to end. I know you want to change the subject, but I think it's when these things come up, it's a good thing because that is where change occurs, right? Because it has to come to the surface. That's why, again, we have to have faith. When we are trying to control something or somebody or an outcome, if you try to control it, it won't happen in the correct divine time. This is coming to the surface because it needed to come up right now because there's going to be another ripple effect. That's why I just keep getting that visualization, that drop in the water and how that one drop, it ripples out. So we can feel it. And we can acknowledge it and we can be part of the change and part of the solution. But that's all I'm going to say is that this comes up, right? It seems like different things come up throughout our history and it comes up for such a huge purpose. And I'm excited to see when such a negative thing can come up to the surface, what is going to be the positive that comes from it and what kind of positive change will exist for the future, for the children and the future children and I think it's going to be of the world. It's not just the Native Americans, but that's the one that they're focusing on currently. But so it's a positive thing, right? If we can shift it and look at it as this is a beautiful, positive thing that is now coming to the surface that unfortunately it gets your attention when it's that deep and that hurtful. But it's almost like as humans, we have to see something so horrific for it to get our attention. Otherwise, we gloss over it and we keep going so busy in our regular lives. So
Sam, you're absolutely right. I don't know if you were on at the beginning when I was saying between the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse, there is darkness that's being brought to light to heal and move on so that we can overcome. I get that. However, I think what the intention of my sharing today is, as empaths, as spiritual teachers, as angel intuitives, yes, it's great to live in La La Land and in the land of the angels. However, we are humans and we have a job upon the earth. We have not only our connection with the divine, however, our responsibility to be one with the earth. And when cremains are found like that or remains, it's up to us to transmute that energy back to love, to acknowledge how we're feeling and to make sure that we're doing our best to be the change and to fill up with knowledge. like I said, our message was hearing messages from spirit. And it's also allowing the voices of those children to be heard. I love that Debbie reminded us that those children all had their guardian angels. God was there. He is always here, even when these hard things are going on, because he gave man free will. And in terms of the priests, I just want to say one thing, and you don't have to agree with me. Remember, everybody's doing a job. And sometimes when we're doing a job, we do things that might be against our spirit because we're doing a job. And, you know, sometimes we're asked to do things that are against our spirit, and it's a job. So I just want to leave it at that, because, like I said, my whole life I've had to defend the church, and that is not where I want to go today. I just want to say that, remember, everyone's doing the best that they can because they're in a job. And so when you're in a job, how can you go against the grain? If somebody says jump, you say how high. You don't say F you, I'm not going to jump. So
unless you're like me and you walk the hell out.
Well, no, but I mean, you know what I mean.
Most people do not do that. They do what they're told. Look at military, right?
Right.
You cannot just tell your sergeant or whoever your
go fly
officer to fly a kite, right?
They'll do the, what's that, waterboarding, putting your head in the toilet. Like, yeah, you don't want to listen, drop 10 and like through the mud, right? I mean, I don't know. Anyways, you guys, if you could say a prayer for these kids, you know, for their spirits, for their souls, and for each other. Hi, Helen. You know, I think that's how we're the change. If you can, I am posting things on my personal page, you know, to get into knowledge and just to be aware, because I think that humanity needs to rise up and listen to the voice of spirit. You know, it comes in many different forms. Sometimes it comes in a tragedy.
Yep, I agree. Well, I love that we've been getting messages from spirit. I feel like this whole conversation was a message from spirit, because I guarantee somebody who watches this, if not more than one, needed to hear some of the things we're talking about, some of the viewpoints, some of the perspectives. And it's not always going to be light and shiny and sparkly that we talk about. Sometimes it's going to be hard topics that spirit wants us to talk about. And as long as we stay in alignment with what's true for our souls, it'll go out to the right people. And that's all we can do, right?
I just want to share the reason that we wear orange in commemoration of the children that perished. I read a story yesterday. There was a young girl. Her mother had given her an orange t-shirt. And when she got to the residential school, they stripped her. They stripped her of her orange shirt. And they put her in whatever uniform because they wanted to strip them of their identities. They wanted to like bleach them white, like the things that were done to them. They would be sick. They would make them eat their own vomit. Anyways, this young girl, she did survive. And when she left after she was 18, the symbol of the orange shirt is that now she can wear whatever color she wants. And that orange shirt that was stripped away from her, we wear and I'm getting all God bumps. We wear in recognition, in support, in respect of their journey, and also to be in gratitude for our own journeys, you guys. It's that, you know, I think that I never knew what white privilege was, honest to God, until this week. You know, even with Black Lives Matter, and, you know, I'm very knowledgeable and I am filling up. It never really hit me until this week. And I was mad. I was mad that these children, these innocent little beings suffered so much.
Well, I think we can dedicate this show to them, and we can just send so much love to their spirit, to their soul, and to their family, and to their, you know, the family that still is attached to that pain.
Right.
And everyone else who feels it, you know, you and I can just send so much love and open our hearts and just send out lots and lots of love, because both of us have that ability to send Reiki and to send
and to listen to the messages of spirit. Like, we all have ancestors behind us. My spirit guy, he's a big Aboriginal, that he was the first one that showed himself. And like, I tell everybody, he was on my right side. He hasn't been here as often. He was the one that used to make me smell smoke so that I would pay attention to where he was guiding me. And so I've always had a love of the land. And I'll never forget when I worked at South Health Campus, South Health Campus. Did I tell you this story, Debbie? And one day over the loudspeakers, I was working, and they said at lunchtime if we wanted to join in a smudging ceremony. And so I went, and there was 3 or 4 Native Canadians and me. And they just welcomed me with open arms. They called me sister. They smudged me. That was my first smudging ever. And I just fell in love. I fell in love with the people, and I felt one. And obviously, maybe I've had some lifetime on some level. I think we all have, where we resonate with them and with love. It's like, when maybe just to be mindful that you're not judging, you know, oh, there's a drunk Indian. God forgive me, I'm just sharing a story, because I don't speak like that. But I know people who do, or, oh, they're all in town because they got their checks. Maybe you can send them a little extra love for what their lineage has had to endure.
Yeah.
And see through the eyes of compassion, and listen to your team who continues to guide you. And maybe on your team, you have a big Aboriginal too that wants to guide you, and be open to that, to hearing the messages from spirit. And they'll come in many different ways. You know, you might get your signs through music or coins or feathers or butterflies, or hearing somebody talking and know that that's your message, or hearing a voice, or sometimes a body double. Like, I hate when that happens. It kind of freaks me out. It's like, what do they call those? Avatar. Somebody's or doppelganger.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
I hear a lot of messages through music.
Yeah,
a lot. That numbers and music are probably my top. I do hear voices, but they're not there. It's always my voice. It's never, I don't hear like crazy ass voices coming in.
A whole different show, Deb.
No, I hear my own voice, but I know that it's not mine. It's definitely spirit talking to me and stuff. So, but that's, you know, I want to like bring it into what we also do too. You know, when we do our readings for people, we're still offering that, you know, 50 to 60-minute reading on Fridays at 1 p.m. And it's $100 US. And what is it, 125, I believe, or 125?
Depending on the day of the exchange.
Yeah, so whatever 100 US exchanges to Canadian. But I just want to let you guys know, you know, when we're doing those readings, we're hearing the messages from spirit, and we are strictly focusing on your messages that we're hearing from spirit. So it's a very, very personal, sacred experience that you get to have with both Giuliana and I. And you see how we are very different personalities and the way that we receive things. However, it's almost like we're receiving them simultaneously, but coming in a different way. And so then we can explain things in different ways.
It's really so sacred. It's really an experience. Like, I hope that people will take us up on it, because like, when we get together, we amplify each other's energy, and it's so beautiful. Like, I just did a reading this morning over the phone, and it's amazing how, you know, I felt, because I hadn't done a reading for about a couple of weeks, I guess. And yeah, probably, well, we were shut down for 3 weeks maybe 2 weeks, because I did have another email reading. I love doing all modes. However, in the Zoom room, it's like being there. You're like with us in this sacred space. I love over the phone. I love email. I mean, we're available in all ways, you guys. And for me, it was like, wow, those cards gave me a message too. And this client I didn't know, and I could tell she was young, and it was her very first reading. And I loved being able to do it over the phone. And I know sometimes people are nervous to do it in Zoom. We can do it other ways, you guys, too. Like, if you want it on audio, Debbie and I can do it in Zoom on audio. Like, you don't have to show, if you're shy, you can listen to us too. So we would love if you consider us, because we love doing this work. And
so we have our Shine Sisters readings, but then we also have our own individual readings that you guys can certainly go check out our websites. I'm at DebbieLevinsky.com, and then Giuliana is at GiulianaMello.com.
Debbie and I are going to do another Oracle party soon. I'm not sure when. I'm telling you, with the lockdown, it certainly changes momentum, at least for me. It did for me. It was like, I was grateful for the pause, and I feel fired up again. I'm glad to be going to clear my energy, because I'm telling you, this week, Sam, you're right. This energy between the eclipses, like even the salt baths weren't doing it for me. And I was even walking, like I did my walking this week. That's why I think the hip was hurting last night. Come on, body. I'm going to go in the salt cave at 2:30. And I hope that I'm just going to like clear my energy.
Clear it away. You're gonna maybe put it on your phone, that "Let It Go" song, and just put some headphones in while you're in there, and just
let it go, let it go, let it go,
and just visualizing it in different parts of your body, just starting with your feet all the way up to your crown, and just letting it go throughout.
You know what I'm noticing though? I need a girls' retreat. Like I was thinking, for a while there, people were getting sick of Zoom, and I get it. I honor it. However, being in Zoom is better than being alone. And for me, I have a male dog, a male child, a male husband, and that's a lot of male around this girl who needs girls. Like I'm missing my girls. And, we couldn't go anywhere, like nowhere. We couldn't gather inside. It was cold. It snowed 2 weeks ago. Finally, this week it's hot as hell. So I mean, we're finally getting some nice weather, but I said to my husband, in the next couple of weeks, I need to do a silent retreat.
Yeah.
Something like I need to go somewhere. I even said to my mom, maybe I need to go to the bush. But I don't want to go by myself. And right now we're still not allowed to mingle with other people. So it needs to be our families. We'll see.
Maybe draw it out. Get your notebook and draw out where you're going, who you're going to be with.
I know where I'm going. You know what? With Sherry Salata 2 weeks ago when I did that Dream Big change course over 5 days, and she said list a big dream, a medium dream, and a small dream. And my big dream wasn't that big, so I made it bigger. And I said to my husband, I want to live 6 months in Arizona and 6 months in Canada. I had never put that down before. He goes, oh, you do? I said, yeah. Oh, yeah, by the way, this is what I would like. And so my medium dream, I'm even thinking that's kind of a small dream. So I'm thinking of the medium one now. I don't know, Deb. Part of me still doesn't dream big, so I'm learning.
Yeah, I love the dream list and the writing that down. I work for Carol, and she was just talking about this, and she says to do a creation journal. So every day before she goes to bed, she draws how she wants the next day to be created, and then whatever else comes through. So she sits and writes her intentions and then draws herself having these amazing experiences. She's got over 100 and some thousand people who purchase from her. And so she keeps creating that connection with them, and connection with new customers, and connections with her family. And so it's like creation journal, create.
And create with the divine. Ask God, and here when it says hearing messages from spirit, It's what does spirit mean to you? For Debbie and I, it's God at the top. And then whatever entities you believe in underneath that, including angels, including ascended masters, Master Jesus, Mother Mary, fairies, goddesses, dragons, unicorns, whatever it is that you believe in, just connect to them and listen in. Hearing is one of 5 senses. Knowing, tasting, smelling, feeling, tap in. And I love that Debbie said, maybe you want to start journaling again. Just tap in, because that's truly what helps propel you forward and helps you. We hear messages from spirit in this present moment, not yesterday, not tomorrow. Being in the present. And for me, it was hard getting into the present, and it gets easier. I've been doing this now. I sometimes, Debbie, I can't even believe yesterday, I was acknowledging 10 years of cancer, of the journey. Thank you. Yeah. And we all have a story, right? I mean, you have many stories too. And for me, it was like, wow, like I am not the same person. And maybe that's where some of my issues are, in that people think I'm the same person and I'm not. And I am using my voice, and it doesn't mean that it always comes out in the right way. And I am doing my best, so it's like loving yourself, even though you feel bad, or even though the world feels mad, and even though there's so much unknown. The voice is spirit. True spirit will never lead you astray. If it ever feels that way, it's not the voice of spirit. And so Debbie and I would love to support your journeys. We love working together. You can see how many times I've said that love. I look forward to being with Debbie and showing up and being able to be of service. So we hope that you felt, some, or got some value from today, from sharing our message of the week. And next week is Debbie's week. So I'll look forward to what Debbie gets. And we will show up next Friday at our normal time, I'm assuming, right, Debbie? Let me just make sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I like this time.
This time is nice. Maybe if we don't have appointments, we can do 1 p.m. And this way, because at 3, both our internets are a little bit more unstable. Today it was pretty good. And, I don't think anybody else is doing any lives at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So anyways, Debbie and I will announce what we're doing next week. If we can be of service in any way, shape, or form, please come to the page and talk to us. We would love for it to be more interactive. And we hope that, you guys are starting to feel the love and support that we have. We've been doing it for about 4 months now. So can't believe it's almost the middle of June.
I know. It's amazing.
So anyways, I wish you all a blessed week. Thank you, Debbie, for showing up early today and for your love and light. And you guys make sure to tap into your messages from Spirit. We would love to hear what you get. Share with us in the comments or on our page. Shine Sisters with Debbie Levinsky and moi, Giuliana. Have a blessed day, everybody. You're welcome. God bless you. Thank you, Debbie. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.